Welcome back, people of YouTube. Once again, it's three middle-aged dudes. I am the Reverend.
The theme here, and Gray Mouse 1.
Yep, we are back with our spoiler edition, our spoiler review of Captain America Civil War. We are going to go into spoilers, folks. So right now, big warning, this is spoiler-filled. We are going to go into detail on this shit. So if you're one of the few people who hasn't contributed to the 181 million domestically that they've pulled this weekend, I suggest you hit, if you're on Windows, the X button over there, or if you're on Mac, the X button over there. Okay?
If you're on a tablet, just and just make our video go away, whatever, or swipe it or whatever.
Swipe it out and force close the app. All right.
If you haven't seen the movie yet, this video is not for you.
Exactly.
So go see that shit and then open this video
then come
again.
back.
Come back. But yes, go see this shit. Go see the movie. Go see Captain America: Civil War.
Yep. With that said, we're gonna jump right in. Any points that stuck with you guys where you think they could have explained things better, or maybe it stuck out with you where, yeah, this didn't make perfect sense,
No.
or because of the way that it happened, or the way that it was changed, if something was just a little bit different, that none of this would have worked.
Everything was either explained by words, battle, or human emotion.
Yeah.
There's nothing that could have been done more. If they would have done it more, then things would have been drug out.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
Let me take back what I said before the video started. Okay, we're gonna have to lay down some details, obviously. Captain America: Civil War, if you're a comic book fan, obviously it's not the Civil War comic book event that happened in the early 2000s of Marvel before they did their latest reboot. There isn't enough movie resources for them to go ahead and go to that scale. Obviously, it's pared down. They don't have as many players, but regardless of that, the themes are still the same. What happens is that we come to a point where basically the Avengers have been around for the last 4 years, and they've been doing their thing as the Avengers without any sort of oversight, without any sort of supervision. And the movie opens up, they're on another mission, and right at the end of the mission, even though they prevent this horrific catastrophe, and probably would have killed and wiped out millions of people, there ends up being a huge explosion that takes out a large group of people in collateral damage, people who weren't involved in the conflict at all, who weren't actively involved in the conflict at all. Because of that, Secretary of State Thunderbolt Ross, General Ross from from the Ed Norton Hulk movie, comes back, and he's now Secretary of State, and he's, along with other members of the United Nations, he presents to the Avengers, these are the Sokovia Accords. He runs down the whole list. He's like, we owe you guys a great big debt that we can't repay, but people see you as dangerous, and not everybody calls you heroes. Some people call you vigilantes, and you're all dangerous, and there needs to be some sort of oversight. And he starts naming off the places that got destroyed wholesale.
not just naming them off, just showing footage of it.
Showing them. Like, he's all New York, Washington, D.C., Sokovia, now Lagos, Nigeria, the place where it last happened. And he explains that, hey, this is what everybody in the United Nations have put together. There are 117 countries who have signed this fucking document that wants the Avengers to be under their control and supervision under the United Nations.
It's funny how you would get 117 countries, and everyone is like, sign this, okay. There's no negotiation here. There's no but no. All these 117 countries are like, look, well, they agree on one fucking thing.
But the thing is, though, is that the straw that broke the camel's back was the
well, that's later on.
Well, no, at the beginning, at the when it really started to get them after what was that play? I can't remember the name.
Lagos, Nigeria.
Lagos, yeah. You know, I mean, it wasn't their fault at all. I mean, you know, and it seemed like the Scarlet Witch really felt the immense pressure of
No, it wasn't
being
even
an
that.
Avenger.
Even
Well,
Captain America said that he should have known that shit was there.
yeah, no. I'm not solely putting it on her fault, but she took most of that burden. Just
She did.
and it. What I liked about it was that she continued to have that burden. It wasn't superficial. It wasn't just there for 30 minutes. Because you know, I felt that the character, held that burden throughout the whole movie. You know, and that was good writing, and I could understand. You know,
She is human.
yeah, I know.
And the thing too is that obviously the two main characters that are in the center of all of this is Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah.
And although you would imagine, I've seen many reviewers out there who aren't very familiar with the Civil War storyline in the comic books. They imagined that Tony Stark would be the guy who wouldn't sign this, and that since Captain America is a straight-laced guy, he'd be the one to go out and follow the rules. But it turns out that Tony Stark is the one within the main head, you know, within the Avengers themselves, who's trying to push this forward onto the other members. And the reason being is that it becomes obvious, and they sum this up. This is where it makes it worthwhile to see the previous movies. One of the things that makes it worthwhile to see the previous movies is that he sums up everything, and you know, he's like, "Look, I started doing this, and it was just part of something that I did." Then at the end of everything, when I thought I was done, he's like, "I trashed all of my suits," and he was like, "I was just going to live my life with Pepper, and everything was going to be fine." He's like, then Sokovia happened, and she asked me to stop, even though it's obvious that I wouldn't stop. I was hoping this could be our middle ground, because things are weighing on him so bad, and it's obvious that it's affecting his personal life, that he's no longer with Pepper Potts. They're broken up.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. So, I mean, that storyline has yet to been completely resolved.
Yeah.
But it's ongoing, and for him we see in what's his name too, Hawkeye. You know, being an Avenger is straining these personal life relationships.
No, Hawkeye retired.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
When they told him, basically their whole ultimatum is that, okay, the Avengers, if you guys are going to be Avengers, you got to sign this. If not, you're going to retire. Because if you don't sign this and you keep on doing what you do, we're going to arrest you as a vigilante.
Yep.
And that's pretty much where the grand source of anxiety and tension between the team pretty much kicks off at that point. And it's actually pretty incredible how they pretty much show all the members of the team. They recognize that all the stuff they do, it's heroic, but it comes at a price, and each and every one of them has paid some sort of price along to get where they're at.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
Some people were complaining that, oh, so you're going to sit there and you're going to tell me that all it takes is one weepy parent to go ahead and turn Tony Stark his mind against everything that he's been doing. No, it's been made pretty obvious that the shit of what he does, everything that he does, has been wearing on him since day one that he put on the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
It's been a strain on everything in this whole personal
Look at the reason why Iron Man came about in the fucking first place.
Yeah.
Yep.
According to the cinematic story,
Yep.
I mean, he was held in captivity. He built an Iron Man suit to bust his ass out.
Escape.
And then he shut down his weapons program. And he saw his weapons being bought and distributed to the enemy.
Yeah.
And that's why he created his own shit to go destroy his own shit.
Yep.
He wasn't even going to disclose that he was Iron Man at the beginning. But he did it just out of a whim.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, so that explains Iron Man. So,
I mean, and one thing with Captain America is that I understand his standpoint, because he mentioned it a couple times in the film that if you put these chains on us, how are we supposed to go out and do our job?
Well, I like the excellent point that he pointed out. He's like, what about if they send us to go do some shit and there's no need, or there's some shit that needs and they don't send us?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That is an excellent fucking point. You're going to have these motherfuckers control our actions and what we do 100% of the time. There is no medium there. That means that we're giving up our fucking freedom.
Yep.
And I can
and that's
understand.
what Captain America felt.
I understand. See, watching this movie as far as how they explain it, and you can understand both sides of the argument.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you must do this or no.
And,
There's both sides of the argument, especially on a human being standpoint.
And that's one thing that it connected us with. And with Iron Man, I understand his standpoint too. It's like, there's a lot of collateral damage when we go into these cities or these areas to save the planet. I mean, just like it at the with the Scarlet Witch, and she just threw that bomb straight into that tower.
Yeah, she didn't really mean to.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I thought that this was going to take place after something like this was going to take place in this Age of Ultron because of courtesy of the Hulk.
Yeah,
I'm surprised that
was not mentioned at all. Now that I think about it,
went to that city and then just.
You're talking about the when Tony Stark got in there.
No, actually,
Hulkbuster. Yeah.
Actually, they do touch on it. They do touch on it,
but they didn't touch on it.
No,
we didn't even know what city that was in the beginning. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I forgot it.
No, they do touch. They do touch on it. If you remember during the UN meeting, King T'Chaka, he's sitting there and he's explaining. He's like, no, before the UN meeting in the press conference, he's saying after the incident in Wakanda. They saw them lose.
You're absolutely
right. Not only saw them see a lot of destruction and property destruction and loss of lives because of the rampage of the Hulk, but also saw them lose a huge amount of vibranium that ended up to make this weapon of mass destruction. Pretty much, he sits there and explains. He's like, we understand that can only be acquired from one country. So as part of our way to make amends, we were on a humanitarian mission out in Nigeria, neighboring countries, to go ahead and take care of things. And then the thing that brings Wakanda and Black Panther and everybody else involved is the fact that there are 11 Wakandans who are killed during that opening incident.
Yeah.
And that brings them straight forward, right on the forefront of signing the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, and we talked about before. We kind of, and it was mentioned in the movie that what side would the Hulk actually choose, or Thor would choose. And I actually think that maybe the Hulk would be on the on Tony Stark's side, being how he just got in that plane and left because of direct cause of destroying that city when he was under Scarlet Witch's mind possession.
And then there's the Thor part of the situation.
Yeah.
Thor has been fighting wars all his life.
Yeah.
He is used to certain kinds of collateral damage. And he's the next in line to rule, and he fully understands.
Yep.
So he would have chose Captain America.
And
I think if I were to project a little bit and do the whole, I don't know, geek fantasy booking, and project a little bit, the way that I would see it was that Bruce Banner would probably agree with the Sokovia Accords.
That's what we're saying, absolutely.
Yeah. The Hulk, though, is a force of nature that
When
cannot.
I said the Hulk, I meant Bruce Banner.
Okay.
I come on, man. The Hulk would be like destruction.
Bruce Banner would be like, outside the Hulk smash.
Hulk smash.
Okay. Well, which is part of the reason why they bounced him out of there, other than it just being a convenient plot point. All right.
And,
When it comes to Thor, his whole thing is, you understand that I'm an Asgardian, and I don't answer to any of you people.
See? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.